Okay, so in this next part, the book has chosen in 5.3 to revisit our cofunction identities. So let me get a new piece of paper here, and let's just revisit what were our cofunction identities. Can you guys recall those? Well, the first thing we had to have is I had to have two angles that were basically complements of each other, right? And so we can rewrite theta, or beta, excuse me, as 90 minus theta. And what we end up finding is that when we have this condition, right, the sine of theta is actually equal to the cosine of 90 minus theta. I'll stay in degree mode. Of course, this is also in radian mode. This will just be pi over 2. We also know that the cosine of theta is the sine of 90 minus theta. All right, so that was one set of cofunction identities. The other set was tangent and cotangent. The tangent of theta was the cotangent of 90 minus theta, and the cotangent of theta was the tangent of 90 minus theta. And the next set of cofunction identities was secant and cosecant. So secant of 90 minus theta, I wrote that in reverse, is cosine of theta, and the secant of theta is cosecant 90 minus theta. All right, so those were our trig identities, our cofunctions. And again, they were only true if we were dealing with complementary angles. So they're kind of hard identities to use because of that, but they are identities nonetheless. And the only one, based off of what we have, the only one we can really prove is this one right here. Because we haven't talked about the sines of sums and differences and tangents of sums and differences. That's coming in 5.4. All right, but in 5.3 we can at least prove this one. So what about the cosine of 90 degrees minus theta? Well, if we use our difference, what we end up having is the cosine of 90 cosine of theta minus means we have a plus the sine of 90 the sine of theta. We know that this is 0, and we know that this is 1. Anything times 0 is 0, and we're left with the sine of theta. So there's kind of your proof using our cofunction identity, using our cosine of a difference to kind of come up with that proof. All right, so there's your reminder about what those cofunction identities are. Of course, now there's a whole bunch of problems that we can do, but I'll do that in a video coming soon. All right, be right back.